All right, testing. One, two, three. All right, see if we can do this. All right. Hi, my name is Charles Hachet. I am a Unity certified instructor and game design teacher, and I am here to present my course, Design Patterns for Game Developers. Design Patterns for Game Developers is a course that's designed to be able to take people who have been teaching themselves programming or are at the early levels of understanding how programming works inside of the context of Unity and C Sharp and helping them to elevate to the next level. A lot of the problems that we run into in game development follow the same sort of issues and are solved in very similar ways. And oftentimes we could take a lot of these patterns as solutions that have already been built. This allows us to look at the same problem and be able to have a conversation with somebody and have them understand the architecture of our design without actually having to see the same code. Now, something to note is that each one of these is more like a template for how to design the solution and shouldn't be taken as the gold standard for creating it in exact duplication. In fact, I'm going to be translating a lot of these from a book called Design Patterns, Elements of Reusable Object-Oriented Software, which is actually written in C++, so I'm going to have to do a lot of translation to be able to get them across. Now, something to note is that I am going to be developing this inside of Unity 2021 using the long-term support, but you shouldn't feel like you have to do it inside of that version. And in fact, every way in which I'm going to be using Unity should be thought of as a layer of abstraction, instead of it being an exact way that you should be doing it. My goal is to be able to present this to you as a way to say, here's a very common problem that we run into, and here's how we can approach being able to solve this issue. First, I'm going to be starting with patterns focusing on creation. Then, patterns for helpful structures. And finally, patterns for managing behaviors. While I hope that you will take this in whatever way is going to suit best for you, there is no prescribed way for you to be able to take this particular course. Each segment is going to be broken down into multiple portions, and what I want you to do is to take each piece that you think you're going to need from where you are. So I'm going to do a broad overview on it. Then I'm going to be talking about how I could implement it in a simple project. Of course, I will link all the Unity packages below each one of the projects. And then finally, I'm going to be talking about advancing it in some way. And what I want you to do is follow along in the ways that seem best for you. You don't have to start and end this in the exact same spots that I'm going to. In fact, I want this to be more or less a resource that you'd be able to look up and be able to remind yourself on how those patterns work. Last thing that I have for you is I am a Unity certified instructor. I have been teaching gaming and programming and design for the past 6 years, both at the high school and college level, as well as to industry professionals. And your likes and subscriptions and passing on the word is going to be the biggest help for me. My goal here is to help each one of us learn to grow a little bit more from where we started, taking on a lot of what has already been laid as foundation by some excellent YouTubers who have gotten me started. And so I want to continue that on for you. I look forward to seeing the projects that you create. I will be active in the comment section, and as this grows, I hope to be able to extend our network so that we can continue to grow with one another. Thank you very much.